What is up? It is August 30th, weekly update. Is my hair a little messed up? It looks like it is actually. Whatever. Um two two updates actually. Two pretty cool highlights from this last week. Um one relating to God and church, the other relating to comedy, and I can't help but feel like they're a little related. Um First was on Tuesday. Um I went and I did an open mic on Monday. It didn't go great, right? It went okay. Um and then Tuesday, I sat down. Actually, I went through my jokes. I wrote, I thought through things. I thought about, you know, uh kind of reflecting on the night prior, right? On Monday, reflecting on, what did I do well? What didn't I do well? What do I need to work on? Where are my weaknesses in comedy for sure? And the takeaway that I got from reflecting just on my previous set on Monday, uh, on Tuesday, was that my delivery, my delivery sucks. Like, chances are, if you're watching this, you've never seen me do any set. But what I noticed was that when I when I think about the joke and when I think about how I'm saying it, right? I'm saying it, with emphasis, with timing and pauses, and I'm not gonna say a joke, but something like if I were to say a chicken crossing the road kind of joke, right? So the way I would like to say it would be, why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side. Duh. So all of that had, even if I was messing around and recording, doing this recording for it, right? Um, or doing the joke for this recording, there was pauses, there's emphasis on some words, there was spacing, um, and then the punchline had timing with itself as well. The thing that I noticed that I do a lot, and I do it without even thinking about it, which is kind of like the thing, is that, like, I'm finding for delivery, I have to really think about it. Um, is that I would just kind of go up there and just kind of like say my jokes, right? So to do that same joke again, it'd be like, why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side. See, there's no emphasis. It was just info. Why did chicken cross the road? And then info to get to the other side. There's like maybe that big a pause in it. There was no life to it. There was no rhythm or flow, right? And so on Tuesday, when I was sitting in the coffee shop and reflecting on the set on Monday, and that's what I arrived at. It's like, I really, really, really need to work on my delivery. My delivery just is not very good. Just like this hair does not want to stay down. Oh well. Um, so I made a note of that. I made a note of that. I put like a little. This was something that I'd read in another book on comedy. Um, which was a recommendation of the comedian who wrote the book, but I never really put it into practice. But now I'm like, okay, now I can see why this is a really beneficial thing to do. And that is to give yourself a goal for every set, right? Shout out to the comedian who wrote that book. I don't remember his name. Um, I don't remember the name of the book, but yeah, every set he would give himself a goal, right? Because there's so many different things that go into comedy: uh, timing, material, delivery, stage presence, audience interaction, right? Body language, which you could also probably say it goes into stage presence, like everything. There's so many things um, that it's hard to know when you're actually making progress at getting better. And so for him, the thing that he did was every set, every night, he gave himself a goal of, I'm going to work on this joke, or I'm going to try to get a laugh with this joke, or I'm going to work on my timing, or I'm going to, whatever, right? So in my joke journal, at the top of my set, I put like, a little checkbox that said, the topic for the set, which was delivery, right? Like I'm working on delivery with this set. And so did all of that work on Tuesday. And after that, I went out to church. There's this there's this Bible study group that I go to on Tuesdays. But the Bible study wasn't being held that night. Instead, it was this heart to heart. I'm Catholic. We believe in this thing called adoration. Um, I won't get into what adoration is. If you know what it is, cool. If you don't, no worries. All you got to know is that I went to church. I sat in adoration. I sat at church with other people in adoration for about an hour and a half. Went through confession. And then after the whole heart to heart was over, um, there was a social hour with other people from church. So normally on Tuesdays after adoration, I would just leave. Um, I would just go and do open mics. But this particular night, um, honestly, I was kind of like, let's go to the social hour. Um, I've commented to other people before how like I don't really have a faith community here in Houston. Like I still don't really have one. Like I have the people that I see at church and at the Bible study, but I haven't really like made any church friends. Um, so then after all the adoration, where I did a lot of praying on comedy, honestly, because of the bad set that I had on Monday. I did a lot of praying about like, God help me be funny, help me get better at being a comedian, help me understand how to do it, guide me, things like that. Um, and after that, I went to the social hour, talked with other believers of faith and God. Um, was there for like maybe an hour, and after that, left for the open mic that I was going to go to. And on the way to the open mic, um, I don't know why, but I'm just like, dude, I just want to pray. Like, I really do. Like, I just want to pray tonight. Like, I want to go and do an open mic. I know I went and I just did all that work earlier today, reflecting on the bad set on Monday, um, and giving myself a goal and rewriting my jokes or working on my jokes and really putting all this time and effort into the set that I want to do tonight. Um, but I really just want to go and pray, you know? And I did. Like I was like maybe 5 minutes away from the bar that the open mic was at. And like on the way there, I just changed my mind. I'm just like, no, no, I just want to pray. I want to pray and I want to be with God right now. So, another thing that some Catholic churches practice is called perpetual adoration. And basically, it's where how before with the church that I went to, they had adoration for that time period. Um, some churches will have adoration 24/7. So I got on my phone, I looked up a church that had perpetual adoration going, found one, and then drove to it, and then sat in adoration for another, what, hour and a half. You know, I didn't leave till about midnight. Um, the first adoration that I went to at my church was it started at 7:30. No, 7 started at 7. It ended at 8:30, and then I went to the social hour. I got out of that at like 9:30, 9:45, And then around 10 o'clock is about the time that I changed my mind to go to the next adoration. Then I got there at like 10:30 because I had to find it and then drive there. And then once I got there, yeah, I was there for another hour and a half praying, seeking guidance, asking God for help. I journaled in my faith journal as well. Um and I just had it was just a great night. I felt really, really good after doing all of that. I went to sleep really, really good. I woke up fully refreshed and ready on Wednesday. Um, so yeah, Tuesday was just it's like I had the bad set Monday. Tuesday was a lot of work on my set and giving myself a goal for the next set, followed by a lot of prayer, which really helped ground me as it does, and being more intentional with God because I'm my faith has been lacking a little bit. Honestly, I've talked about it in previous updates as well, for sure. But Tuesday was a real good, like, intentional, like, let's try to get back to that. And then Wednesday was a good day for comedy, right? Because, like I said, Tuesday I did all the work on my set and everything, so I already had all that done. Come Wednesday, all of that was already complete. So I really didn't touch my set too much on Wednesday because I definitely learned that you can overdo things, you can overthink your set. Um, so Wednesday was just what did I do Wednesday? I mean, I know I did my set. I mean, I'm just gonna focus on that. I did some work. Probably I definitely read the Bible. I do remember doing that. Um, and then I went into work. Got out of work, and once I got out of work, I went to the open mic and I went on, I think, like third to last. Did 5 minutes and I had a good set. It was a good set, honestly. Like, I sat in the back and went over my jokes, went over all the notes and everything that I had reflected on and everything, reflected on my goal of really working on my delivery of my jokes and everything. Um, and then went up for a crowd of what I think it was two, four, six, eight. There were eight people in the crowd. So a good little crowd, and said my jokes. You know, really was thinking about like the delivery of each joke. I really wasn't trying to get laughs. I wanted laughs for sure, but it was kind of one of those nights. It was one of those sets where I was just like, I may not get any laughs, but that's okay because my goal isn't to get laughs tonight. It's to really work on my delivery of my jokes. And so went through the jokes that I wrote down. I literally had my journal in my hand as I was kind of like reading them because my memorization is just not the best. I'm not good at memorizing things. I'm really realizing that that's one of my biggest weaknesses. I don't remember things. I really don't. Um, so went through my set, literally just reading off my journal. I would read it, I would look at it, get it a little bit, then look at the audience, speak. So there's a good back and forth. But I told him right from the beginning, I'm like, hey, I'm working on these things. I'm working on these jokes. So, give me some time and let's try to get through it. And they're like, all right, cool. And they were cool with that. And they listened, they were attentive. I got a few laughs. I got a, I got a number of smiles too, where I'm just like, hmm, doing that. When people do that, they're like, so that tells me, I'm like, oh, there's something there. There's something there that's getting people thinking. Um, so my set right now is getting people thinking. It gets a few laughs here and there. I imagine as I keep working on the delivery and the memorization part, or as I keep working on the delivery, the memorization part will come with that too, because it'll become like a muscle memory of like I say the joke like this, you know. Um, but I had a good set though. I had a few laughs with the jokes. I got some reactions that got me thinking. I'm like, okay, there's definitely something here. Um, and then once I was done with my jokes, I had like maybe like 2 minutes left of time. So then I just talked with the audience, did some crowd work, and I got some laughs off of that for sure. Um, and then my time was up, but I walked off stage. A few comics told me, I'm like, dude, you had a good set. I'm like, thank you. Like, yeah, your crowd work was good. And that was really about it. That was what they explicitly said, but I did get a few laughs with my jokes too. So it was good. It was good. I was really happy with that. Especially after like the not great set I had on Monday, right? Not great set I had on Monday, all the reflection and everything that I did on Tuesday, followed by all the prayer, and then the actual good set on Wednesday. You know, really, really good 2 days there. Aside from that, the rest of my week was just the rest of my week. Thursday was my day off, so I relaxed that day. Friday, yesterday, I did, a lot of work. Um, last week on Sunday was actually my day off for last week, so I didn't do anything then. Um, so today is just going to be a lot of work. Saturdays are typically just a lot of work with the update and just everything else I got to do today. So that's it. We're at 16 and a half minutes. That's it for this update. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you are inclined to do so. And as always, God bless. Have a good day.